In a world of evolving Englishes, there are many kinds of teachers. But what kind of a speaker makes a better teacher? Is it a native or a non-native English speaker?
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, here at Muppet Labs where the future is being made today. Well,
in the name of science and curiosity, we're doing a little bit of research today. We're going to be asking some students and teachers of English whether they think that a native speaker or a non-native speaker makes a better teacher of English.
comes out of your pay, Beaker.
As TESOL teachers in training, we're hoping to get some insight into this fascinating topic, but first, we'll meet our guests.
And I taught ESL for about 6 years to high school and adult students.
I'm a non-native speaker. I learned English since I was 6 years old.
Hello, I am a non-native speaker and I started learning English when I was a child, 3 to 4 years of age.
Okay, now that we've met our victims, I mean subjects, we can go ahead and ask them, do you think that a native speaker or a non-native speaker is going to make a better teacher of English to speakers of other languages?
Or nearly so.
Poor fellow lost his nose. How will he smell without it? Same as always. Terrible.
Both native and non-native speakers can be really good ESL teachers. In my experience, the students sort of dictate the direction of the school.
And why is that?
Some students prefer American teachers when they travel all the way here, and they prefer having the foundation in pronunciation and the grammar, and especially academic writing with a native speaker.
And what about in your opinion?
In my own opinion, I think non-native speakers have a real advantage because they learned grammar step by step, and their answers are more than just what some native speakers say, it's just that way. That's just how English is. There are hard and set rules.
I prefer the native speaker because if it is a non-native speaker, they will try to use my mother language, Mandarin, to explain English.
Fascinating. I thought that was always helpful.
But I think that I cannot improve my English rapidly. If a non-native speaker, they will try to use English to explain the definition of the word or explain other things in English. I think it can make me learn a lot.
And Chetna, what are your thoughts about this?
I think that student-teacher relationship matters the most in any class. So I think that a native and a non-native speaker contribute equally to the learning experience as long as the connection is there.
Both kinds of teachers seem to have their strengths, but is there a benefit to having one kind of teacher over the other?
I think that the non-native speakers really can give students, maybe who have had the foundation and pronunciation and the building blocks of English, really good, solid grammar skills.
Best for learning is, I think it depends on the when you start learning, right? If like I was a child, had I been with the native speakers, learning from a native speaker, it would have been a great help.
It's starting to look like there's not one kind of teacher that's fundamentally better. So why is there a higher demand for native speakers? Is it fair?
From the student's perspective, it's really unfair. I think that once the learner has a good foundation with pronunciation and has the building blocks, that non-native speakers can give a really good perspective, and they can better explain in many cases the grammar steps and the reasons behind it, and give their own experience of learning a very difficult language like English that's always evolving. And The native speakers are probably better at giving the early pronunciation skills and also academic writing. But if a non-native speaker has gone to college in the US and they've done the academic writing, then it's probably going to be equal skills for teaching that.
I think it is not fair that it had higher demand for a native speaker. Although I think I prefer the native speaker teach me because they will use English to explain English. But sometimes I think some students will need a non-native speaker because non-native speakers know that how to teach a foreigner. But the native speaker sometimes didn't know the difficulties for the foreign student.
Now, what if your own children wanted to learn to speak English? Would you want them to learn from a native or non-native speaker?
If I had children and there are options available, there is availability, I would love to go for a native speaker. If my children again started at a later stage in their life, then of course non-natives first and then native teachers later.
If I have a children who want to learn English, I would prefer he or she to learn English from a native speaker because I think it is the fast way to learn English. If it is a native speaker, they will talk to my children in English. They won't use other language, so I think it will make my child improve faster.
I want my daughter to learn Spanish at some point. I prefer to have her be taught by a native Spanish speaker. The pronunciation, the idioms that are very important. Also, cultural aspects would be more precise with a native speaker. So I can see why some parents of ESL children would prefer a native speaker in that case.
My oh my, what valuable insights everyone has shared with us today. So it's about that time now to go ahead and draw our conclusion. And if I understand correctly, both kinds of speakers can make great teachers, each with their own contributions. Whereas a non-native speaker may better know their grammar and will know the difficulties of language learning, a native speaker can use idioms and they'll probably have better pronunciation. So what we can take away from this lesson is that we should act carefully as we step into the world of evolving Englishes. We must not rush to judgment as we remember that our differences make us stronger when we work together. Bye-bye now. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
خيالات مانيندا خيالات سانيندا تهيني تلاقي أباغا مقال نيتا أرباتون شغيبون دا يقاندني قل وقدا